Hello, friend. Today, we're going to explore a fascinating lesson that delves into logic, responsibility, and the nuances of understanding profound truths, titled The Wise Jester's Insightful Debates. The Wise Jester's Insightful Debates. Imagine, if you will, a bustling marketplace in an ancient city where seekers of knowledge gathered. One day, a certain scholar, known for his numerous claims and unconventional interpretations, was sitting amidst a group of his followers in a mosque. He was expounding upon various matters, presenting his arguments with a confident air. A renowned wise jester, a figure celebrated for his sharp wit and deep wisdom, happened to pass by and decided to listen to the scholar's discourse. The scholar put forth several assertions that caught the wise jester's attention. First, the scholar declared that he had heard a truly wise man state that the Creator cannot be seen, neither in this world nor in the hereafter. However, the scholar expressed his astonishment, questioning how something could exist and yet remain entirely unseen. He seemed to suggest that anything that exists must, by its nature, be visible. Next, the scholar confidently asserted that evil entities, such as the devil, would undoubtedly be consumed by the fires of hell. But then he immediately posed a puzzling question. If the devil is created from fire, and fire cannot harm or burn itself, how then can fire torment the devil? He found this concept contradictory. Finally, the scholar spoke about human accountability. He initially stated that individuals are fully responsible for their actions, yet in the very next breath he contradicted himself, claiming that all human deeds are intricately linked to the Creator's will, implying that people are not truly accountable for their own choices. The wise jester listened intently to these assertions, a thoughtful expression on his face. When the scholar finished, the wise jester decided to provide an unforgettable response. He quietly picked up a piece of dry clay from the ground, walked up to the scholar, and, with a swift motion, gently tossed it, striking the scholar on the head. The scholar immediately cried out in pain and indignation, complaining loudly about the injury. He quickly took the matter to the judge, demanding justice against the wise jester. Before the judge, the scholar recounted the incident, emphasizing his pain and injury. The judge then turned to the wise jester and asked, "What compelled you to act in such a manner?" The wise jester, with a calm demeanor, began to unravel the scholar's own arguments, one by one. The systematic explanation. Now that we have a feel for the topic through that story, let's break down the principles behind it and explore the profound wisdom embedded in the wise jester's responses. The story brilliantly illustrates several key philosophical and theological concepts, challenging superficial reasoning and highlighting the importance of consistent logic. Let's revisit the three assertions made by the scholar and see how the wise jester addressed them. 1. The visibility of the Creator. The scholar expressed disbelief at the idea that the Creator cannot be seen, questioning how something can exist without being visible. This assertion implies a limited understanding of existence, tying it directly to sensory perception, specifically sight. Concept explained. The nature of existence is not solely defined by what can be seen. Many fundamental aspects of reality, such as thoughts, feelings, gravity, or even air, exist without being visible to the naked eye. The Creator, being beyond creation and material form, transcends human sensory perception. Attempting to confine the Creator to visible attributes is akin to trying to hold the ocean in a teacup. It's a limitation imposed by our finite understanding, not by the Creator's reality. Wise jester's rebuttal. When the scholar complained of pain from the clod of earth, the wise jester countered, "You claim your head hurts and you are in pain, yet you also question how the Creator can exist without being seen. If your pain truly exists, can you show it to us? Since pain is an existing sensation but cannot be seen, by your own logic, how can you claim it exists? You must be mistaken in your claim of pain, for how can something exist and not be visible?" Explanation. The wise jester masterfully used the scholar's own faulty premise against him. If the scholar insists that everything that exists must be seen, then his invisible pain cannot exist. This forces the scholar to confront the inconsistency of his own reasoning and acknowledge that existence is not limited to visibility. 2. The torment of the devil in hellfire. The scholar questioned how the devil, supposedly created from fire, could be tormented by fire in hell based on the premise that fire does not burn its own kind. Concept explained. This argument shows a misunderstanding of both the nature of punishment and the composition of beings. While the devil might have been created from a fiery essence, its current state is not identical to the fire of hell. The punishment in the afterlife is not merely a physical burning by identical elements, but a form of divine justice that affects the very being of the punished, irrespective of their origin. It is a spiritual and existential torment, not just a material reaction. Moreover, even in this world, different forms of the same element can interact destructively. Example, concentrated acid burning flesh, or different types of fire reacting. Wise jester's rebuttal. You state that the devil, created from fire, cannot be harmed by fire because fire does not burn itself. Now consider this. I am created from earth, and this clod I threw is also made of earth. By your logic, earth should not hurt earth. Therefore, your claim that I injured you with this piece of earth must be false. Explanation. The wise jester again exposed the scholar's flawed analogy. If the principle like cannot harm like were universally true as the scholar proposed, then the earth from which both the jester and the clod came should not have caused pain. This highlights the superficiality of the scholar's reasoning and demonstrates that the origins of things do not always dictate their interactions or vulnerabilities. 3. Human responsibility and divine will. The scholar contradicted himself by first asserting human responsibility, then claiming that all actions are tied to divine will, thus negating individual accountability. Concept explained. This touches upon the complex theological concept of free will versus divine predetermination. The correct understanding is that humans possess free will, allowing them to make choices and be responsible for their actions. However, this free will operates within the broader framework of the Creator's ultimate power and knowledge. Our actions are known by the Creator and enabled by the faculties He has given us, but they are not compelled by Him in a way that removes our agency and responsibility. It is a delicate balance where human choice is real and accountability is paramount. Attributing all actions solely to divine will without human agency effectively removes morality and justice from the equation. Wise jester's rebuttal. You claim that humans are not free in their actions, but rather are compelled by the Creator's will. If I struck your head, it was by the Creator's will, and therefore I am not responsible for my actions. If you wish to complain about this deed, you should direct your complaint to the Creator, not to me. Explanation. The wise jester used the scholar's contradictory and ultimately irresponsible assertion to justify his own action. By reducing human actions to mere instruments of divine will, the scholar's argument eliminated personal accountability, which the wise jester promptly demonstrated by applying it to the scholar's own complaint. This forced the scholar to confront the logical outcome of his own proposition. If no one is responsible, then he cannot hold anyone responsible for his injury. The scholar, astonished by the wise jester's irrefutable logic, was left without a retort. The judge, seeing the clear demonstration of intellectual prowess and the dismantling of the scholar's inconsistent arguments, was impressed and released the wise jester. Summary. In conclusion, the story of the wise jester and the scholar serves as a timeless reminder that true wisdom lies not in merely asserting claims, but in employing consistent logic and critical thinking. The wise jester, through his simple yet profound actions, exposed the scholar's flawed understanding of existence, the nature of punishment, and human responsibility. ultimately teaching that genuine insight requires a harmonious alignment of principles free from contradiction.